All right, we'll let a couple people get in. Did The LUS fiber guy did come over yesterday, hooked up my TV. I was doing TV Wi-Fi. I don't know why I was doing that. Not sure I knew the TV could be hooked up directly. That was good. Fixed my Wi-Fi issues, I guess. I don't know. I hate it when I don't understand why technology doesn't work. That's my issue. All right, NFL schedule released. Maybe one of the more overhyped things going. We know who, we know where, we just don't know when. And that's a big difference, right? Playing Green Bay in September, as the Saints did, is one thing. Playing them in December is another. LSU gets their defensive tackle out of Grand Valley State. We'll talk about that. We got Cajuns taking on Cajuns taking on South Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss. Were there any midweek games yesterday? Did anybody move up and down yesterday? I did do, doesn't take much from me. I had been eating not a lot lately. And let's see. LSU enters the weekend. They actually went down 1 yesterday. They're 35. Cajuns are 38. So LSU went down 1 during the week. Coastal Carolina is up 1. And the Cajuns are up 1. But that was from the other day. What is it? Jimmy Daggy's? Is that the pizza place? I was just there yesterday. Yeah. We'll get to that. All right. I saw it on my Facebook feed and I'm like, let's do that. I was going to go actually get some dinner compared to what I usually eat, which is not a whole heck of a lot. So whatever on my weight, I didn't weigh in yet today, but it is what it is. Well, we're going to work out here after the show. All right. So as schedule release, the things that people come up with, are really creative. Patriots did Goodwill Hunting, a knockoff on that. Gronkowski was hilarious. Julian Edelman was good. They got Robert Kraft and the coach to hop on there. I guess the Chargers, as it Sims, did that. Harrison Butker in the kitchen. That's funny. Let's check out what the Saints' schedule is in the order, because I'm not sure it's the easiest. Well, it did say easy, right? It ranks easy based on last year, right? Let's see here. Ranking 2024 NFL schedule rank. All right. Also, what is the big deal? This is hilarious thing compared to like draft stuff, like leaking. Like, what's the difference if something leaks? I mean, we're gonna find out about it like later in the day. And it's not like a draft thing. Like, it is what it is. Right? Did anybody get something wrong yesterday? I don't understand that. No. Let me see if we got NFL strengths for all 32 teams. All right, so this is FB schedules. Okay, I thought, but because this is based on last year, I thought the Saints was at the bottom. Yeah, Saints are tied for 31st with the Falcons. What a shock. And the Panthers are in there. So in the division, the Buccaneers, Panthers, Saints, and Falcons all have a relatively easy schedule. All right, because they're all playing each other. So they start off with the Panthers at home, then they're at the Cowboys. All right, let's say 1-1. I mean, are you beating Philadelphia at home? You get Philadelphia at home. Are you beating Philadelphia at home? I don't even know if you're beating Atlanta at Atlanta. You very well could start out 1-3. At the Chiefs, 1-4. We'll give you Tampa Bay at home. That's 2-4. Broncos at home. Sean Payton coming back. That's 3-4. All right. At the Chargers, 3-5. At Carolina, I don't really trust him with that, but Carolina's not very good. So we'll say that. Hold on. Let's do this again. I'm going to lose count. So 1-0, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, 2-4, 3-4, 3-5 at Carolina, 4-5. I'll say you beat the Falcons at home 5-5. Cleveland at home. I don't know about the Browns. All right. We'll say 6-5. We'll do that as a win. The Rams at home. I mean, the Rams are generally going to be better, but we'll say is that 7-5 at the Giants in December? We'll say 7-6. The Commanders, which is Jaden Daniels at home, that's 8-6. At Green Bay, 8-7. Vegas at home, 9-7. At Tampa Bay, 9-8. Isn't that where we think the Saints are? And that's just off the top of my head, based on who I think is better right now. Right? I mean, we don't know if Kirk Cousins is going to get hurt and Michael Penix is going to be the quarterback. And maybe Michael Penix, I'd say the new, Brock Purdy, but he was a first-round pick, so that's not the case. So we just don't know. We don't know. They have all kinds of, offensive line issues. We'll see. I mean, Dennis Allen's job is on the line, I would think. It doesn't seem like the team has much of a direction. They're still kind of holding on to what they had. We'll see if Lattimore gets traded. I don't know. Right? I mean, Cam Jordan's career is coming to an end. He's still very good. Brzee was good last year. They have a couple of anchors on the offensive line, but they got a lot of positions open. So, I mean, maybe they move Penning inside. Right? Maybe my ODU guy, Saldivari, is ready to play inside. I don't know. So then you're worried about the tackles. I am, as the kiddies say, I didn't even know what this thing was, mid. That's the way I feel about the Saints right now. They're just kind of mid. I don't know what to think about the Saints. There's not a lot of, boy, this could be it type of deal. Right? I was making excuses all last year for Derek Carr because you don't see the Kirk Cousins moves all the time, right? And I guess that was, you just don't see quarterbacks moving. Like Stafford moving to LA was big, right? And Goff coming back the other direction. You just don't see that. Those guys were traded, and you don't see free agent quarterbacks move. So it takes a minute to get accustomed to whatever is going on. And with the limited practicing time they have compared to what they used to have, 20, 30 years ago, it's even harder. So trying to get everybody on the same page. And maybe just Derek Carr is just kind of mid. Now, I will say in the how many people knew that was a Mad Men reference to begin with? They had one of the characters from Mad Men doing the schedule release. And I guess they were trying to get somebody for social media intern. And they got Mickey Loomis with the gum. Is that an inside joke, or does everybody understand that? So Mickey Loomis, at the end of his end of the year press conference, claimed he had a cough and he was chomping on some gum. So the first thing they tell you when you're doing public speaking is throw away the gum, right? You may, put some in your mouth quickly to get, fresh breath. And in this case, clear your throat. And so he was chomping on gum violently. So that I think that's an inside joke. And then, Twitter always comes for Derek Carr. So he's like, people on Twitter understanding. So, you appreciate the guys who, can make fun of themselves. You got to have a sense of humor. We'll see what happens with Harrison Butker. So that's, I'm not going to get into all of that. I'd say to each his own, but he's, he is putting himself out there. We'll just put it that way. All right. It's one thing what you do on your own beliefs. It's another one when you share those beliefs, and then you're going to get pushback from people who don't believe in those beliefs. That's what's going to happen to Harrison Butker. I mean, Anyway, I guess I heard the Jets were on Monday Night Football, or 6 primetime games. Kansas City's playing all kinds of days, and we got to stream all those things. I mean, so I had a little, I got hacked My financials got hacked, Venmo, and my bank got hacked. So I had to change everything. And instead of trying to keep up with, all right, what I pay on this card, what I pay on this card, I just wait for, oh, your payment didn't go through, and then pay it with a new card, right? And so, or I don't. Like, I don't watch Showtime anymore. I'm not watching Netflix, right? I think HBO comes with my phone, and Prime Video, I pay for that because of Amazon Prime. So we'll see if I get the Christmas. All right, maybe I will go somewhere else. We'll see what it is. I don't know if I necessarily need to be watching those games. I think they're good games, right? But I don't know if I'm necessarily going to stream just for those. Like, I think my Apple Plus subscription paired off. I think there's some good shows I want to see on that. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be. I definitely don't do Sunday Ticket now. I mean, a couple of things I got lucky about. First of all, the Patriots were great for 20 years. All right, so they had either numerous primetime games or nationally televised games, CBS or Fox. The other thing is they always seem to be the opposite of the Saints. I mean, I just remember a couple of times living in New Orleans or living in Louisiana or in Mobile. Basically, I got the Patriots 11 or 12 times a year. Now that's not the case because they're not any good. So I'm not sure how much interested I'm in watching them lose, but we want to see the progress of Drake May, still a Patriots fan. So we'll see, how I go about watching that. It may not be the most imperative thing to watch. But the schedule released. I think that's an overrated deal. I appreciate it, and I love the idea of talking NFL year round. I mean, did people just buy their tickets? I mean, people make travel plans already? I don't know. Maybe. Going to see the Cowboys in week 2 would be fun, right? College, we knew that LSU was playing USC on Sunday. I guess we didn't know the time, or maybe we did. And I know people are going out there for that. All right. It is the Schultz-Cast episode 39. I got that correct. Also, apparently more weather is coming tonight, which isn't great for the Cajuns. More weather maybe tomorrow. That's not, and maybe Saturday. Maybe not great. Let me see that. Let me check that out. All right. For the softball regional. But I may have to make a call and, leave. I don't know if I can do it tonight because they're saying bad weather tonight, overnight. I'm flying out of Baton Rouge tomorrow. So Rob Perillo said, my fellow Oswego State grad, said that there's stuff coming more like right when I'm going to leave. Like I was planning on leaving at 7 a.m. tomorrow. So, and it doesn't look like it's great. I mean, it looks like it's a bunch of rain as long as it's not tornadic. Is that a word? Tornadic? And like the idiot that I am, I'm going to get up and work out early. Well, I'm going to lift, which isn't very long, and hop on the bike for 45 minutes and then skedaddle. The plan was to leave here, prior to 6:45, 6:55, so I could, do the show, if you will, from the car. I actually bought a thing to put on the dash. We'll have gas. I'll be raring to go. Going to pack tonight. All set. How long is it going to take to pack? 3 nights or 4 nights. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 4 nights. So as soon as I'm done, the idea would be in the shower by 6 and eat breakfast and go, depending on that weather. So we'll see. Maybe we'll just make a hit up Rob on Twitter and see, hey, Rob, I got to catch a plane out of Baton Rouge. I'm not worried. I am worried if it's delayed, but I can't do anything about that. But I need to make sure I can get there. So we can be there safely. I ain't driving into crap that came through on Monday. No. I don't need to be driving through it. Flight's not until 10. And it still take me an hour and a half to get to the airport from exactly where I live. Because I'm going to go 190. That takes a little bit longer anyways, but it lets out right at the airport, right? And I don't mind that drive. I don't. A little bit of a speed traps, but I don't really drive that fast anyways, and not through towns. All right. Let's talk. LSU got their defensive tackle. And this is where I do need to be careful because so Grand Valley State's JVR Suggs committed to LSU. 22 games last 2 seasons. Suggs totaled 42 tackles, 14 and a half tackles for loss. Excuse me. 8 sacks, 2 fumbles, and passes deflected. That is from Blake Ruffino from AYS Sports Network. Okay. So I am very careful on the Twitter trying to teach my nephew this. And I'll give you Syracuse as the example that I use because, Dino Babers just did not recruit very well. And for all of the, 3 and 4 and 5 stars, I look at who else is recruiting. So very rarely did Syracuse, though this year is a little bit different with Fran Brown, did Syracuse get, forget 5 stars, but like 4 stars. Like, where else is he considering? He chose Syracuse over Clemson, Louisville, Ohio State, and Michigan. Yeah, not usually. It's usually Toledo, Kent State, Miami of Ohio, Boston College. And so, they would get a lot of MAC players. And so when you're not competing in the ACC, that's why. Especially when you'd be in close games in the 4th and then you'd fade because the other one's got Power 5 guys. You got MAC guys. And so I'm careful because those kids deserve scholarships, right? I don't want to mock the kids if Syracuse is their best offer. Okay. Having said that, all right, and I certainly, hey, maybe this kid can go all Jared Verse, honestly, right? I mean, do we know Jared Verse's story, right? Jared Verse went to SUNY Albany. Talk about a swing and a miss by Syracuse. What happened there? So he goes from SUNY Albany, who when I grew up was Division III, now it's Division I, to first-round draft pick. A lot of teams swung and missed on that, right? From SUNY Albany to Florida State to first-round pick. And so maybe this guy can do it. And obviously, I'm sure LSU fans know, and, Brian Kelly's, I think, first job was at Grand Valley State. But, what can we expect? Now, we can do what I just said, right? LSU beat out Michigan and Kentucky for one of the top remaining transfers. So obviously, there were other people that wanted him too. Let me see. Let's do a little bit more on Grand Valley State. Let's see here. Athletics, football. Let's see Grand Valley State football schedule for 2024. All right. Central State, which sounds like a made-up school. Colorado State, Pueblo. Wisconsin, La Crosse. West Florida. Davenport. Northern Michigan. Saginaw Valley State. Ferris State. Wayne State. Michigan Tech. Roosevelt. That's not exactly Auburn, Arkansas, Florida, Alabama, USC, UCLA. That's all I'm saying. So LSU is desperate and good for the kid. Probably got a little bit of cash. I'm going to presume he got a little bit of cash, not the $1 million or so that the kid that ended up at Oklahoma wanted. And again, let me see if we got a bio on him. Let's see if he's on the roster. I don't know. Review list. Let's do. We can do position. Let's see here. Go. Let's see if we got a bio on him. I don't know. We don't know anything about him outside of, let's see, DP. I don't know if he's going to still be on the roster because he's transferred out, right? Although this does say, Javier Suggs. There we go. So he's out of Flint, Michigan. Full bio. Okay. He was listed at 6'3", 282. He redshirted in, he's been there a minute. He redshirted in 19. Remember, 20 is the COVID year. All right. So he redshirted in 19. It doesn't look like they played in 20. Remember the 2021 team. 2022 earned his first varsity letter. So he's played 3 seasons. 21, 22, 23. So does he have like 2 years left? It says class sophomore, but I mean, I think he's a little. It says on Grand Valley State's roster, it says he redshirted in 19. So he's a class of 19. High school class of 19. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. But if he redshirted in 19 and 20, and 20 doesn't count, 21, 22, 23. So he's a redshirt sophomore. So he's a redshirt junior. So he's got 2 years left, I guess. Am I doing that right? Let's see here. So he played 22 and 23, and we gave you those stats. Now, again, just like I said, they're saying that he's one of the most wanted transfers. He was down to Michigan, Kentucky. LSU got him. Good for him, right? This is a guy. Let's make sure we understand where this kid has come from. He was redshirting at Grand Valley State. He may start for LSU this year. So he started, he redshirted in 2019, and in 2024, he could end up at Grand Valley State, and now he could start for LSU. So good for him. How good he is, I have no idea. And again, I'm not here to rip the kids, but it does feel like LSU was a little desperate, which I think they were, which is okay. And maybe the kid turns out to be really good, right? Who knows? Who knows? Again, we're not here to rip the kid. Again, from redshirting from Grand Valley State to starting in the SEC in 2024. That's quite the leap. Who saw that happening in 2019? So good for him. Good for him. Okay. Cajuns hosting South Alabama. We can go over the let me see here. We can go over the pitching rotation, and it is it's Andrew Herman going for the Cajuns, Chase Morgan, and Carson Fluno. So back to where we were when they were flying high. I don't think we've had that rotation in a minute, right? Either Fluno wasn't in there or Herman wasn't in there, but now we are. Let's see what South has, because they released it as well. And remember, South is a little bit desperate to get in. They may get some help from some other teams, but let me see if we got the email yesterday. I was having email issues yesterday. Let me see if we got from the Cajuns. Did not get anything from the Cajuns yesterday in terms of the game notes. All right, but they did put the game notes on. They did put the game notes on online. Okay, so we can download the file. And we do have Herman, Morgan, and Fluno. Okay. I'll be the first to say, or maybe not the first to say, the Cajuns are going to go as far as those guys take them. Them and LP Langevin, maybe JT Etheridge. Holtzhammer's been a no-show. He's been banged up. Martinez, I'm not sure if they trust him. That's a little spotty. Blake Marshall and McGehee are going to have to get in there somewhere along the way. But they are going Herman, Morgan, Fluno. I thought we had the South Alabama pitching. Let me see if maybe we got to go to their website. Maybe it's a preview. Let's see. It is Cam Hill. He's a senior. He's 4-3 with a 4.31 ERA. That's Thursday's starter. Saturday and Sunday is TBA. So I think they're banged up. Excuse me. I think they're a little bit banged up. And they were relying on guys who are really talented, but were coming off injury. They're in a little bit of a tough spot. There's like 5 teams going for 4 spots. Let's see if we can do it off the top of my head. Georgia State, Texas State, Coastal Carolina, South Alabama. It's not JMU. No, I can't do it off the top of my head. I got 4 of the 5. Coastal, South ODU. All right, there you go. So Coastal Carolina, South Alabama, ODU, all 13 and 14. Texas State and South Alabama have the toughest missions. Texas State's going to Southern Miss for 3. And South Alabama's coming to the Cajuns for 3. And those are the 1 and 2 seeds right now in the tournament. So that's not easy. All right. Also, we had some bracketology come out yesterday. Baseball America had 5 Sun Belt teams in there. No LSU. I'm going to tell you, I'll believe it when I see it. All right. I'll believe it when I see it. I know what the history says. I'll believe it when I see it. So they had Coastal, Southern Miss, Cajuns, Troy, and JMU. That would Baseball America. And D1, and Baseball America had the Cajuns going to Texas A&M. All right. And so my math wasn't working out. I thought, if the Cajuns, like Baseball America had, if the Cajuns win the regular season, and Baseball America, for the sake of argument, had them winning the Sun Belt tournament as well. But I still think they'd only be, in the high 20s. So you're still, right, if you're in the top 32, you're a 2 seed, but they seem to be well placed in the Baseball America bracketology to go to the 4 seed College Station. Well, baseball or D1 baseball has them as a much higher 2 seed going to Starkville, as Starkville, the Mississippi State being the 14 seed. That's a lot like softball, where Texas State is seeded 17th because they're going as the number 2 seed to play in A&M. So that I didn't think that would be really high. That'd be like the Cajuns being like RPI like 20th or something like that, maybe even higher. Yeah, 17, 18, like, well, there's 16 seeds, so something like along those lines. That's really high. But I guess it depends where the Sun Belt finishes. If the Cajuns sweep South Alabama, again, South Alabama doesn't have this great RPI, so the Cajuns aren't going to move up all that much. 34 or 35. And then depending on who you play in the Sun Belt Conference tournament, again, they got a break last year, if you will. I guess they lost to Coastal one time and then beat them twice. That helped the RPI out. The whole thing about this whole argument, been talking about it a long time, with the weak schedule and how many games they got to win. They've put themselves in good position. The idea is to get to the Sun Belt tournament not having to win the Sun Belt. And I think the Cajuns have put themselves in that position. And think if they didn't lose to Houston Baptist, right? They would probably be, upper 30s, right? 30 to 32. And if you just change 3 of their losses, forget Wright State. They took 2 out of 3. But you beat Rice, you beat Houston, and you beat Houston Baptist. They're probably looking at a top 30 ranking, right? Then they would be just on the outside of potentially hosting. Forget the Arkansas State loss. That's a, conference loss back in the day. I can't sit there and say you can sweep, right? Especially on the road. That's not something that I would think. But we'll see. All right. And we'll see what the weather does starting and stopping. That changes a whole lot. All right. We could go. Perillo put this up on video. Let me see. I don't know if we need his voice. Whoop. He did put this on Twitter. Let me see if we got the radar. Because it's. Let's turn him down. And let's see where we are. So Thursday. Thursday, 8 p.m. ain't looking great. Like, really not great at all. So, if I am the Cajuns looking at this model, and I'd be on the phone with Perillo, do I move this game up to 5? Or do I cancel it and play at play 2 on Saturday? Yeah. Thursday at 8 p.m. ain't looking great. Yeah, tornado spin Friday, 6 a.m. That's when I'm leaving. Enhanced, moderate. Friday, 8 a.m. Yeah, not great. But then he's got a couple of different ones that this was done. I'm looking at 13 hours ago. Then maybe he had one updated. We'll see. So, okay. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah. Thursday at, Friday, 5 p.m. we don't care about. That's a different day. So it's clearing out. Yeah. All right. So there's weather coming. Anyways. Okay. Enough of that. So there's weather coming. I'm concerned with the Cajuns game tonight and getting out of here. Being able to drive to Baton Rouge tomorrow. All right. We may have to skip the game and drive to Baton Rouge tonight and just stay in a hotel over there. Of course, I'm not sure how that is going to go. All right. What else did we have? I feel like, Jimmy Daggy's. I guess are the kids calling it mid. I bought a pepperoni, and I love, those brick oven pizzas. I really do. Asked for it well done, didn't get it well done. A little skimpy on the toppings, right? Like you go to Elise's and it's like covered in hamburger. As is everything today. I got a pizza and half pepperoni, half hamburger, and I'd say garlic bread. I'm not sure it was garlic bread with cheese. It was just cheesy bread. Let's just say that cheesy bread was good. As is everything today. Little pricey. And I just had a Diet Coke with it, Coke Zero. A couple of people go in there or a family, there's going to be over $100. And if you actually have a couple of beverages on there, it's going to get up there fast, right? Like I thought about having a Makers and Diet, but I just didn't. And of course they have all those beers. So service was good. I will say that wasn't very busy when I went at 4:30 yesterday, and hopefully the business does well. It was just kind of, again, I'm not saying it was bad. It just wasn't, I'm going back today type of deal. I certainly didn't throw it out and have more. So maybe I'll finish that off for lunch today, but that's my pizza. I did try to put it, I had more last night, tried to put it in the toaster oven. It still didn't. The dough was just too doughy. I like it. I like it well done. I don't know what to tell you. I like it more crunch. It doesn't have to be, I don't have to break it, but I like it where it's a little bit more firm. That is just me. All right. Anything else that we needed to talk about? Let me see here. I haven't, whatchamacallit issues. So I cleared out my history, so I can't get into my Facebook app there. PGA's starting. That's pretty cool. Again, LSU Ole Miss. We know it's important to both. Also, the Louisiana VooDoo folded. A couple of days old on that. Sorry about that. But again, you could see that coming from the get-go. I just seemed like it was a fly-by-night operation last year. Seemed like it was a fly-by operation this year. I'd set the over-under at 3 ball games and then found out, what happened in their first game. And I'm like, all right, now it's going down to 2.5. Then they postponed a game. Now it's down to 2. Then they're proposing another game. And now it's down to 1.5. And when you set the line at 1.5 games played and they've already played a game and you're still taking the under, it's in tough shape. So I guess Jeff Fisher's taken over. We'll see. It's a fly-by-night operation. I wouldn't trust anybody. I'd get money up front. I'll tell you that. So I appreciate the Cajuns trying, right? But obviously it was not a long-term investment. No. Okay. Everybody have a great day. Hopefully we'll get baseball in today. We do have pressers, so I will post stuff from softball. We have 2 before noon and then 2 right after noon. So we get like a little lunch break. All right. Thanks so much for tuning into the Schultze cast. Everybody, we're going to try and do this tomorrow. We'll see with the weather and everything like that. I really hate driving in weather, especially what could be bad weather. So I'm going to focus on that, maybe not do the Schultze cast. But anyways, everyone have a great weekend. We're off to Louisville. We'll see if we're on tomorrow or not. All right. Have a great Thursday, everybody, and we'll talk to you again soon.